All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is Sean joining the guys.
Hey, welcome back, Sean.
Thank you for having me back.
Dude, yeah, thank you for coming. And to everybody tuning back in, this is episode 113 of our show. This is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories, either a love song.
Or a fight song.
Yep, exactly right.
And there's no third category for Sean to say, but
Oh, man.
that's those are the options.
Sometimes you got to pick one.
That kind of psychedelic sounding intro that you just heard is from Anand Wilder, his recent album I Don't Know My Words, which is an amazing title for an album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Delirium Passes.
Yeah, it's a song I played out whenever it was released. I played it 30 times or something. It was just super catchy,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew that or I'd read that the record label that he was on was pushing that one, so it was a good choice for lead singles. Definitely an earworm in the best way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and this is one Sean wanted to talk about, and we're always happy to have Sean back on the show.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, it took a while to get our schedules aligned,
Mm-hmm.
but we got it working.
Yeah, I'm so glad we did.
Well, how about this intro? I like a good intro. It's not too long, but it's not one where like the song can't wait to start. It has a proper intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like the way it all comes in at once, drums and guitar and everything. But it catches your attention, and it doesn't linger too long before getting into the goods.
yeah, yeah, and it kind of shifts, and then it gives a few seconds before it gets into the lyrics too. So
yeah.
there's almost like another little intro
Mm-hmm.
after the intro.
Yeah, there's some kind of percussion things going on in the background, like bells or something. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool extra sounds in this song.
Yeah, I really like the bells. They sound, I'm trying to think of the best word to me forever to come up with it, but they sound industrial. Like they sound real, like metallic.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're just banging on a railroad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And actually, there's in the Chili Peppers documentary for Blood Sugar Sex Magic, they were doing kind of a similar thing where they were just in a room banging on a bunch of stuff
Cool.
and would overdub it and do stuff like that. So it wasn't quite that. This song wasn't quite that as big and epic, but it kind of gave me the same vibes.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I can't help but think of Maxwell's Silver Hammer too.
Yeah.
Like in the documentary.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Yeah.
that? The Get Back?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That what's his name? Whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
That was his highlight. Just hitting the hammer at the end.
Yep.
Oh, that
a few moments of fame.
that record exec guy,
Yeah.
that really
Mal
Evans,
Evans,
healthy-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
He had a kind of tragic life apparently. I didn't know
man.
much about him.
Oh wow! Like after that, since
yeah.
then.
Yeah. I think he got shot and maybe murdered, but maybe I don't know, something dark.
Oh.
I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but something bad.
Man.
So.
Well, speaking of dark, we want to hear the first verse.
Yeah. And
Or-
the Beatles.
Yeah.
Can hear some influence there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good segue. But yeah, let's hear this first verse.
Man, what a
You
cool,
want- yeah, you
cool
want-
voice.
Yeah.
On Taz.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to it. In his old band Yesayer, I've always they had another singer, and I've always liked Anand's voice. Oh, yeah, I'll just say that.
He didn't say he likes him more.
Yeah, I'm just saying I like his voice.
Yeah, I do too.
he does a lot of doubling his vocals, which is a very Beatles thing and 60s and 70s thing to do.
Yeah. It sounds like he's in a cave.
Yeah,
Really cool.
I think it's his production is really good on this song. I think he played all the instruments. Pretty sure.
Whoa.
Cool.
You know, if you watch videos of the old band, you can see he plays a lot of different things on stage. So, doesn't surprise me at all that he's able to do that. But I like the overall tone of everything. Is the bass and drums have very 60s sound, 70s sound, tight drums. That's the kind of, I really like that sound. I do a lot of that in my own stuff, so definitely welcomed here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and these lyrics are really, really interesting and cool.
Yeah. Certainly.
I was gonna say before you said that you think he plays everything, that reminded me of Guster. Like,
Guster, yeah.
the percussion is eccentric, and then what little drums on a drum set are really like tight and punchy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just, there's a moment where it's electric guitar and synth. There's a moment where the acoustic guitar is really featured. Like, Guster has a really great way of doing that, where all the guys play all the instruments and they have a ton of fun with different songs. Like, their lead guitar player and lead singer will be like, I'll play bass on this song. So then the bass really shines more than usual. And then someone who doesn't play maybe piano as much is like, well, I'm like switching to a different instrument. Shouldn't I get a feature? And I kind of get that sense, but it's cool that it's one guy.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read that it was all him.
Wow.
Cool.
And it's definitely it works. There's no weak link musically.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Is this his first solo album?
Yeah, this is the debut solo album. I believe he recorded it during COVID, like a lot of artists. That was, one of the benefits of that is that people were able to record at home and do a lot of writing and recording in their own house. So I think this was recorded in his own studio,
Cool.
I assume.
Yeah, it was a good time to do everything yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I believe it's self produced.
Cool. And I meant to say it came out at the end of March. I don't want to say March 25th of this year.
Yeah. The single came out back last year.
Oh, cool.
But that's the lead single, and it's an earworm, and I just thought it'd be a fun one to do and to analyze the lyrics and the production on it and hear the different sounds. Because I always enjoy songs that kind of bring sounds in and out.
Yeah, for sure.
That creates the kind of dynamics. Because in a lot of ways, the song, the second half of the song repeats itself a lot, but not in a bad way. In a way that it's like a sing along, but there's a lot of different variations that are brought in and out that kind of keep it interesting.
Yeah.
I'll say for a little bit, except for the singing, I thought maybe Sean picked this song because he was on it. Maybe he's doing like some of the supporting instruments. Maybe he's like the way, like I said, the guitar, the acoustic guitar, you can't hear it, and then it sounds. You know who else it sounds like? Actually, I just thought of, Susto a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
He just has a talent for pounding an acoustic guitar so it sounds like an electric guitar, and you're just like, dude, acoustic guitars weren't made to distort like that. And he's like, well, this one does,
and it sounds great.
And it sounds great, yeah. But then the way that like there's cool melodic solos and musical parts later, which obviously we'll get to, I was like, this reminds me of some, not all, obviously, some of the stuff of Sean's that I've heard, and some of my favorites actually. And I was like, I wonder if that's what he like has a surprise. He's like, yo, the reason I like this song.
Well, shout out if you're listening. I'm a musician. If you need anybody in your band, I know you haven't made it down to Georgia for your tour, but just saying, I'm out there. But no, I probably just gravitated towards it because that is kind of the style of music that I like to make.
Yeah, you make what you like.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
I do.
dang.
Yeah. Generally, sometimes I don't like what I make,
Oh,
but that's how it goes. I'm sure any musician has felt that way.
Yeah.
hmm
I had thought the same thing though. I even said that to my friend. So I was kind of bouncing ideas off of him. Shout out to Adam.
yeah. Shout out, what up, boy?
And I was like, yeah, I can see why Sean likes this song. It kind of feels like some of Sean's music. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I like it's definitely got. The Beatles influence is kind of obvious, but there's a lot of other influences I can hear. Some throughout the album, not necessarily the song, but Cat Stevens and even Paul Simon. Yeah, I'm wearing a Paul Simon shirt again.
Yeah.
And my new favorite shirt, Graceland shirt. But I think some of his lyrics remind me of Paul Simon, in a way, which is a huge compliment because he's probably my favorite lyricist of all time, Paul Simon.
Oh yeah. And you mentioned is it Yesayer?
Yesayer, yeah.
Yesayer. Having like some African influence.
Yeah, so I first heard them on a YouTube video. It was like a year-long beard challenge thing, and it was the progression from no beard to a year-long beard. And I heard there's a song. There's a song in that from their first album, and I was like gravitated toward that song, and listened to that song, and then listened to the album, and listened to everything since. And every album they did was different, which I liked. It wasn't ever too different, to the point where it felt inauthentic. But that's how I found them, and they broke up a couple years ago, so I was bummed about that. But I don't know what their relationship is. So I won't speak any more about that. But I definitely am glad that Anand put out this album because some of my favorite stuff were the ones he had written.
Nice.
It sounds a little bit like Drive-By Truckers. Like a lot of people are like, I kind of like that guy they kicked out best. Like I liked all of his songs best, and now he's Jason Isbell, and he's doing his own thing.
That's right.
He's
Yeah.
doing very well.
Yeah. I'm not gonna pick favorites here, but I
Mhm.
very much like his songwriting. That's all I'm gonna say,
Cool.
and his singing. But yeah, I the song's been in my head, and then I finally listened to the whole album, and it's definitely got that folky, poppy, early 70s vibe
Mm-hmm.
that I very much gravitate towards.
Oh yeah. And we haven't really gotten into the lyrics yet.
I was about to say that. Yeah. What about these lyrics?
Yeah, so I'm, listened to him a few times. Definitely. So, do you want to go line by line, or just kind of? Well, 'cause we're only doing the first verse so far, right?
Yeah.
And we can just what we typically do is just hit the spots.
Yeah.
Like I bet there's some people that would like a line by line, but to me, I don't ever want to make it where like I don't know, because it's just our opinion. So I don't want to say like we're teaching like a Bible verse or like a sonnet. Like, all right, and so this line, just because I think some people will be like, I didn't even like that part. I did like that part, and you glossed over it. So we just
Yeah,
hit the high spots.
Yeah.
that works for me. Yeah, you could, and we could be way off. That's the thing.
Yep.
Because I messaged him. I said, if you have any insight you want to tell us, let us know. He said that's a secret. So.
Oh man.
So,
all right then.
So that makes it more fun. I'm kind of glad he didn't tell us. But yeah, what I'm getting from this is just some guy who's married, has kids, and he's having that moment of monotony in his life, where everything is, boring, and he's tired of it, and he's thinking about leaving, and so I think the song is kind of one of those things that if you're in a long-term relationship, you kind of can feel that way at times. I think lyrically we'll see as we get into it a bit more that it might be a little more tongue-in-cheek and exaggerated, but I still think the feelings can be relatable.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, several of my family ties definitely supports that theory. And then my favorite line is just under dawn's surrendering moon.
Mm-hmm.
I just
It's a great first line.
yeah, it's such good imagery.
And the guy, he says gonna do it one day soon, and I like how every time you go back from a verse to a chorus, it's like, it's not gonna happen before too long.
Yeah,
You get back to what you're doing.
yeah. Speaking of which,
I was gonna say one more thing, and then we can. Sorry to cut your segue, but it's a great storytelling technique, I think, to like hook people in with what you're gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
because like this is already recorded and put down in a media we can like press play on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to be like one day, and the audience is like, "What the heck? Well, are we
Yeah.
in the present or the past?" And it's neat, and it draws people in. Like when people start a story, and they give you like right up until the very end, and you kind of can know what's gonna happen, but you still want the payoff of them telling the whole thing, so they know
Mhm.
you're right. To
Ooh,
me, I
yeah.
get kind of that from it. Like I'm gonna do it one day soon is the first line, and we're like,
What?
great, I can't skip this song.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
a TV show will like show you most of the like big event
yeah.
early on, and you think you know what happened, and you learn how it really went down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, great. We can get to the chorus now. Again, sorry for that.
Cool. No.
Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down, putting her down. Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down, putting her down.
Musically, I want to say I like the guitar tone a lot throughout the whole song.
Yeah, it's great.
I agree. It's awesome because it's like clean. Like for example, that little diminished chord that we just heard to be
Mhm.
like, get ready.
Oh yeah,
Like that's just
leading
nice.
you into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's whatever effects he's using throughout are great. Some like vibrato effect going on.
Mm.
I've always liked his guitar style. If you listen to some older stuff, he's got a very unique sound, which I think is kind of underrated. But yeah, lyrically, it's pretty much Delirium Passes. You can get right back to putting her down. It's kind of like your crazy ideas, like you're brought down to reality, and you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bingo. Yeah.
And I like that. Initially, I thought when I first heard the song, I thought the lyric was you get right back to putting it on, as in like putting on a show, like
Mm.
like faking something, which also would fit in this song because I think the character feels like he's just going through the motions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought that was funny, a funny misheard lyric, but this also works very well as well because it kind of I think the song is written maybe in a selfish way, I would say. Because I think at times, like, if you have been in a long-term relationship, you feel similar things. You can, and and that a lot of times is a selfish way of thinking. Not calling him selfish. I don't know if this, I don't know if sometimes this is a character, sometimes this is a reflection of feelings brought into a character. Sometimes it's just your feelings, as a songwriter. So couldn't tell you for sure what he was thinking, but maybe you can comment on it and let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please.
Yeah. But it's definitely a selfish narrator perspective.
Especially the next verse.
Mm.
Definitely feels a little more like that. But at
yeah.
the same time, it's not something. While I think it's kind of exaggerated, I don't think it's anything that's not a human feeling at times.
Definitely. There's also just like some cool effect filling some of the empty spaces. It sounds like really fuzzy.
It sounds like it's some kind of low synth in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I've noticed more and more every time I hear it. It's just full of interesting sounds.
Yeah, listening to it on the way here again, I was like, more sounds keep popping out. I'm like, man, I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot in there, which again, I'm a fan of bringing these different sounds in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I was gonna say that the first couple times I listened to it, I was thinking like, the expression, the figure of speech, putting somebody down, as in like putting their self-esteem down,
Mm-hmm.
like insulting them. And
Mhm.
now I don't know that. I think it's more, maybe just my read on it, more like a bad habit, like putting down. I mean, people don't really talk like this anymore, but like putting down cigarettes, or putting down something that you picked up and you were gonna indulge and you decided not to.
Yeah, it could be that for sure.
But
That's
again,
because my first thought was, like putting someone down is like a negative thing, but
Yeah.
that's definitely a possibility, and that would kind of change the dynamic of how he feels, the writer.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Well, should we? I think we cut it right where something similar to the intro is about to start to like signify the verse. I think we get those bells again, and I think we get the second verse.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Why is everyone else so afraid? I'm in the clear, all my debts are paid. So I took a closer look in my life, at my bright smile screwed up a while. Surely this can do no harm, but before too long.
Every time that chorus doesn't come in, it's like a sneeze held in.
Yeah.
It's a good chorus, a good hook,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and he does such a good job of like setting you up
building
for
it up. Mm-hmm.
getting
Yep.
you ready.
I've actually had some feedback that some of the edits are less than satisfying. And that makes sense because we want to give each section its due.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to balance that because sometimes you're trying to if you're trying to focus on that, like there's nowhere you could really cut that except there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a good way to split a song up.
Yeah,
No, there's not.
that's why sometimes those reaction videos on YouTube, if you ever watch any of those, are kind of hard to watch because I'm like, no, don't pause it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're missing the best part. So, but I think you're doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you.
I think so.
Related to that, I would say some of my least favorite things is when someone has a really big personality and they like doing reaction video, and they'll be like, "Start again. I won't talk over it this time," and they can't help themselves. Dude, that's so irritating to me.
I know.
Because they always do, and I'm always like, "You just said like you're lying to your audience," and then they'll do it. Oh my gosh.
They just can't help themselves.
Yeah.
I like verse 2 even more than the first verse.
Yeah, me too. I think like I like the line. So take a closer look at my life, at my brats, my inscrutable wife.
Yeah.
Very harsh language, but inscrutable, means hard to understand. So
Mm.
I think you can. I think anybody can relate to that if you're in a relationship.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
just redundant.
Mhm.
That's just saying the same word twice.
Yeah.
Also, just to put a song, put a word like that in a song is really impressive.
Mhm.
It's just
Yeah, it is.
it's a mouthful.
Yeah, it works. Doesn't feel ham-fisted or anything.
Right. He does a lot of really cool things rhythmically with the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way he seemingly effortlessly spreads them out, spreads like each line out to just fit perfectly with the with the instrumentation.
Yeah, he's got flow.
Like the all my debts are paid part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of drags it out. Really interesting to me too is why is everyone else so afraid? Because if we think he's talking about running away,
Mm-hmm.
it's really cool to kind of point out like anybody could just leave their life,
Right.
but everybody's too scared to do it.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
He is in the clear. His debts are paid. Yeah,
Mhm.
like he's like, why aren't more people doing this?
Yeah.
Should be easy.
Yeah.
and then again, like the first verse, it comes back to the, back down to earth a little bit.
Yeah, both verses have the surely this can do no harm,
Mm-hmm.
but before too long. And I'm wondering what he might be referring to about doing no harm, like just having these thoughts, maybe like considering
Whether he's actually acting on it or considering it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's hard to tell. I think, I kind of feel like, I still feel like, which I said before, this is kind of like an extreme version of the way people feel. So yeah, I mean, I feel like in his mind, he's like justifying actually doing it.
Mm.
That's how I feel. But
Yeah.
again, this is for the way I interpret it is that this is a character, so kind of hard. And then when you watch the music video as well, it's kind of a little silly, I guess, but not in a bad way. So it kind of seems just like just like an exaggerated version of thoughts that people have when they're in a relationship and thinking, oh, what's the big deal? If I up and leave.
Yeah, I think so. And the music video is pretty stylized and like
it's wild.
A little
wilder.
A little like old, like retro looking, like it's kind of grainy.
Yeah, he said he filmed it on an old. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. I just read it, but yeah, on an old camera to get the authentic old school feel.
Cool.
That's neat.
And it definitely looks like it. Like it doesn't look like somebody's took a filter over it. So
yeah,
well worth it.
Yeah.
I can't find where it is, but I just read it. Oh yeah, on 16mm film.
Cool.
With prismatic and double exposure and camera effects mixed with silent era vaudeville style acting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a frog in there. And there's some corn in there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go into trying to analyze a music video.
Yeah, lots of corn.
I think the lyrics are... Maybe that could be your next podcast show,
I was
analyzing
gonna say,
music videos.
We need a different show for that.
Oh, man. That ain't a bad idea.
But, yeah, I think overall that's the vibe I'm getting. That, just a guy who's kind of having grandiose ideas that he knows he's not going to act on, but he's wondering why he doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it is in the context of like being in a family and leaving them, and like what that might have an effect on them. But I think even someone that's not in a relationship or doesn't have a kid or wife could relate to just wanting to escape the monotony.
Yeah.
That kind of happens.
Yeah, exactly.
In everyday life.
It's not limited to one kind of family situation. It's definitely relatable. I mean, like just leaving a job or anything.
Yeah.
I've definitely, in my old job of working at the elementary school, definitely felt that.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it reminds me of the beginning of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, when Jim Carrey's on the train platform, and he just goes, and you hear his narration, he just goes, I cut work today. And then you see him standing there, and the train goes by, and he just takes off running the other way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like,
Yeah.
and very few people actually do that. I think that's why so many people love that movie.
Yeah.
It's like their parents paid for them to go away to school, and they're like, yeah, man, we just got to get out of the system, man. And it's like, all right, settle down, dude. This movie's like a masterpiece. Relax. It doesn't apply to taking one sociology class. Thinking you know everything. But yeah, I think, Sean, you're exactly right, that a lot of people have those temptations to be like, or it's like a daydream, and just to be like, whoa, sorry, I'm back. I was like thinking about like, what if I wasn't right here? What if I wasn't sitting here watching the clock? I think that happens to just about everybody.
Yeah, so I don't think anything in here is like unforgiving thoughts,
Right. Yeah.
which is what I like about it. It's just kind of honest, and that's always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of downplay it or brush it off. I think it was was done pretty bluntly, but in a way that can be understood.
Yeah, and I think most people would just completely deny like having any of these considerations.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't admit to it, which is why when of course, I'm the kind of person who always listens to the song, like the music, and that's what I focus on for the first few times I listen. Then I'll go back and really focus on the lyrics, and so that added, an extra bit of goodness to the song because I already liked the music and the melody, and then the lyrics were cool. Again, like it really does remind me of Paul Simon lyrics, who would write kind of similarly about characters and kind of use a different kind of way of telling thoughts that people have.
Yeah. And Chris, I'm glad you said daydream, because I've been thinking about this song, that it sounds like a dream. And we did a song just a few episodes ago, maybe a couple episodes ago. I think I Like When It Rains.
Yep.
By Willis. That also sounds like a dream, but it's like different. Like maybe daydream is better. Like it sounds just like you could be swimming, and like maybe you don't exactly remember your dream, but you like were dreaming or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Like you don't even realize that you're thinking about it. and then
Yeah.
you're brought back to reality.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, like kind of like those whatever those bells are in the background during the verses makes it kind of gives it a dreamy vibe.
Certainly.
And then when the chorus comes in, it's very like groovy and tight. It's kind of like coming back together.
Yes.
Very
Very well said.
Very well said. Like more structure.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Gosh.
the delirium is
Yeah.
past.
Oh
There you
man,
go.
Very
that's
cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I hope you meant to do that if you're listening. Anand. Either way, I think it's cool.
Very cool.
So and then again, like I said earlier, the rest of the song is kind of repeats the chorus in different ways, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we get some jammy parts.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really cool. We're about halfway through, and we're gonna get another chorus and some other cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down, putting her down. Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down, putting her
Neat.
Yeah.
I like that little like extra on the chorus. Like, the chorus was already great. And then
Mhm.
to be like, and also I just kind of want to have the song like transport the audience, and like the bridge is next, but we don't have to be so structured and so rigid. So I'll
Yeah.
just go from chorus to kind of like taking liberties and like playing with it.
Mm.
And then there's other stuff, but I won't like spoil it if you haven't heard the song. But I just think that's cool to like have it go naturally.
Yeah, it's not like a rushing into the bridge or whatever.
And it doesn't sound like a modern day pop tune where the parts are just big blocks copied and
Mhm.
pasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can easily do that. I have to be careful not to do that myself. Because it's so easy now to take the chorus and do it again twice and do the same with the bridge or whatever. And I don't know if you did do that, but it doesn't sound like it.
No, it doesn't.
It's
No.
very easy to. I've started not doing that, because it does make a difference when you play through a song instead of just play, 4 bars and loop it.
Mm.
But I do like that. The transitions definitely feel natural. They feel like they were recorded in the 70s. Nothing feels cheap or like copy and pasted, basically.
Right. And I wonder if different people will interpret this part as the delirium still happening or the
Mhm.
delirium passing. Like, are people thinking like now I'm a little bit freer come the like stretched out chorus into the bridge. If you're putting yourself in the narrator's shoes, you're like, good, I'm kind of like back to a good feeling and a more coherent. Or is it Delirium? It's like painting with music to be like, whoa, what part are we in? Like, there's like an echoey thing. Like, I look at the lyrics, I don't know what he's saying right here. You know, I don't know, because like I said, I think different people could interpret that part different.
Yeah. It feels like it definitely feels like a transition to me. More of I guess the passing than the actual delirium.
Cool. Okay.
But that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. And I was thinking, even kind of once the delirium has passed, and certainly delirium isn't like a good state to be by any means, but getting back to putting her down doesn't sound ideal either to me. So,
yeah. That's why that's very interesting what Chris was saying earlier about that other interpretation of that kind of changes the intent of the storyteller.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Dang. Me either. I guess only one guy knows.
Yeah. And he won't tell us.
Sorry.
And that's okay.
Yeah, no, I respect that a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, it's more fun.
It's out there, for people like us to talk about and people to listen to and wonder about. So there's something special about that.
Yeah. This next part, not to rush to the next part unless y'all are ready to, but I just really like the bridge.
Yeah. There's after just like he kind of repeats putting her down, or you'll get back to putting her down. I love there's just like the spiky guitar, like hammer on, that really, it's kind of like the bells. It's just like an extra little blemish that I like a lot.
I know what you're referring to. I'm not gonna try to imitate it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Same.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Let's move on.
All right.
Cool stuff. I love that part of the song.
Yeah, I think that part that we just heard is what reminds me most of your music, Sean.
Oh yeah,
kind of like the layering of vocals.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely tend to do that. Sometimes too much.
I wouldn't say so.
Well, thanks. Yeah, definitely, and kind of singing in a round. Like
Yes.
row your boat.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I like that, and he's singing in different octaves and stuff. He's got a low voice in there,
Yeah.
and then just the guitar sound and the chords he uses, and like whatever vibrato effect, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but that's kind of what it sounds like. It's very pleasing to my ears.
Yeah,
Mine too.
that guitar solo is really special. Like it's nothing crazy, kind of, except for that effect that's on it. It's pretty simple, but it's so interesting
and effective. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the chords on the near the end of the solo are just really pretty, and they work very well.
Oh yeah.
And then you can also hear the low synth in there a little bit louder than in other parts of the song. And of course that's basically, or maybe this part is the delirium passing, because it does kind of go right back into the chorus after that.
Oh yeah.
So, was there anything else I'm missing sonically? I think that.
No, you hit all the parts
Yeah.
that stand out to me.
Yeah. Nailed it.
I love that one Delirium Passes. It's low,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that guitar effect. I was sitting there thinking, like, how brilliant would it be if it was just a $50 Boss TR2, just turned all the way up, and he's just that good at being like, well, I'm gonna like control it. I'm gonna ride right on top of it.
Yeah.
And then when it hits these chords, it's gonna not know what to do, and it'll create this cool effect. I love that. Yeah, I think
That
it's
would be
cool.
Yeah, I don't know what actual equipment's being used, but you never know. I mean, I've used like just a guitar pedal, and I've used like plugins, and I'm getting the vibe that he didn't use a lot of modern technology on this one. That's kind of how I feel.
Cool.
But if he did a good job of hiding it.
Yeah.
But I've done like, sometimes just running a guitar straight into the board, no amp simulator, nothing, putting distortion on it can give it just a cool tone. I mean, just like, so there's so many different ways to like get a sound. I don't know, but whatever it was nice. Worked well.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And so many people have been playing guitar for so long and doing all kinds of things, but I've never heard a guitar solo like that. So props for that. It's very, very unique.
Yeah. And he anytime he's playing guitar in Yeasayer, he has a one of a kind style. So that's more important than a lot of things as far as expression.
Oh yeah.
And music.
There's a lot of people out there shredding that I don't want to watch.
Yeah, I don't really care
or listen to.
But he's got these great chord changes, and there's a song off Yeasayer's last album that I really like. Can't remember the name right now, but just a lot of like different transitions that you wouldn't expect a chord to go there, and then when it comes in on the chorus, and it's like it's just like kind of a simple like 3 or 4 chord type thing, and it's kind of cool. Like the resolution, it's kind of similar to this song in that the verses are kind of spacey and telling a story, and then when that chorus hits, kind of feels like you can breathe. Like it's just a nice, like I said earlier, it's like sneezing and not holding in a sneeze.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is and the rest of the album's great too. So definitely check it out. I know we're not done with the song, but I know the chorus repeats, I believe.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah, but we're always pushing just like listen to the whole album if you can, which I still need to do. I'm excited to get into.
Yeah, because all we have left is an outro. So
cool.
It's all right.
Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down. Delirium passes, you get right back to putting her down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good ending. There's a little bit more of a little more energy on that last chorus. You can tell, kind of feels more like a finality to it. Final decision.
Yeah.
Some of the drum fills in there are a little more not flashy, but you know what I mean.
Confident.
Yeah. There's more Ringo-y fills in there, filling it out and bringing the energy up a bit on that last one.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell it's not one of those things that was copy and pasted.
Yeah. And the guitar, that interesting sounding affected guitar takes up a little bit more space too.
Yeah, I love that guitar. I could go on about that all day. And the chorus, but well,
yeah, that's the song.
this the part.
Yeah, now
this
we
is
decide.
deciding love or fight song, right?
That's right.
The first we usually, for whatever reason, have to decide who goes first. That usually takes a little bit.
Yeah, I remember.
You'd think we could like figure that out ahead of time, but
Yeah, I call last again.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like to let the guests decide if they want to like go first or just like hear us first. What about you? You feel ready, or you want me to go ahead?
I want you to go ahead.
Okay, cool.
What could it be?
So it's pretty slow and spacey, and it kind of like drifts in and out of, like we were trying to say, like almost consciousness. I don't know of a musical term to describe that, but it's definitely ebbing and flowing, kind of between what you could call verses and chorus, or like delirium and delirium having passed or passing. But the percussion isn't really like driving it. It's not very high energy per se. It's pretty peaceful, and I mentioned it kind of feels like you're floating, or like swimming. So I don't think that it sounds like a fight song by any means. I can't really point to anything that would suggest that it is, except for the lyrics. And kind of because of this going back and forth between, wanting to run away at the train station, metaphorically speaking, and like leave your family, and then realizing that's absurd. I love my family. And that feeling passing, I think it's suggesting that it's kind of like a constant back and forth. And with the information that it was like written and recorded during COVID, makes a lot of sense, because I think a lot of people were like experiencing delirium in a way that they hadn't ever before, and thinking about things that they'd never considered. And I think a lot of people wanted to run away from their lives, because we were all just sitting inside staring at walls and stuff. But I think that the narrator is conflicted and feeling kind of trapped, and is fighting within himself. So I have to say that it's a fight song that represents like internal conflict, and internal struggle.
Cool.
Wow, neat. I didn't know for sure where you were going. That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, I was thinking, you're going to the love song.
Wow. Yeah, I like that you brought up kind of when it was recorded, and just the historical setting. That's so important now, but imagine what it'll be in the future. Like, you know how we like to talk about, like, oh, this album that everybody loves was during the civil rights movement or the Vietnam War, or bringing the Berlin Wall down, whatever. I think for a long time, coronavirus, COVID-19 is gonna be one of those.
Yeah.
And I think, Cam, you're exactly right. I agree with a lot of what you said, because all of us were stuck in our lives. And I think a lot of people realized what they're forced to be alone with their thoughts, and forced to be alone with the space they created in their nest. They're like, oh man, I don't want to be in this couple. I don't like this person. I like that when we go out, I have someone, and a lot of our friends know us as a couple, but I don't want to be stuck with you for 2 weeks, let alone however long they were actually stuck together. And I don't want to be, there were like people like going to other countries because they could work remote, they were in tech, whatever, and they would just go pretend to be someone else, like go try on a personality. I'm in Costa Rica now, or there were all these articles being pushed on the internet about, like, you can go to this country you've never heard of, some third world country, they'll pay you to come live there during coronavirus. And people were like, all right, I'll do that. And they just went and pretended they were someone interesting and successful, because it beats the alternative of being like, I'm trapped in this mediocrity. Like, I don't mind like coming home from work to my bland existence and sleeping, because sleeping's easy. You don't have a bland existence in your sleep. But boy, if I'm stuck in here all day, every day, I can't do this. And to me, I think this song is kind of calling out that feeling, maybe. And I really like a lot of songs like this where we don't know the true meaning. It's not really transparent, that they're just combination of things. Like, for example, this song could technically, but probably isn't, but could in theory be about the songwriter having that idea or like a kernel of that idea or that feeling for a millisecond and putting it away and being like, but that's still an interesting thing to write a song about. I wonder if I could do it from someone else's perspective, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you might get this reference, but one of my favorite songwriters said one time that his friend was getting divorced. And he was so sad for him and heartbroken for him. And he was like, man, I'm going to write a song about it. And the friend was like, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Thank you. And he wrote a song about the divorce from the perspective of the woman that was leaving his friend. And then when he finally showed it to his friend, he was like, I'm so sorry it turned out this way, but I just found that perspective. I love it. It just is better. That's one of my favorite Mandolin Orange songs.
Wow.
It turned out that way. And it's possible that this person was like, caught themselves being like, I don't want to be here. I want to live and exist somewhere else where I'm safe, where I can't get sick, or I don't have to deal with the things that I'm dealing with because it's tough right now. And then they snap back and like, oh man, no, you know what? I don't. And then I think, regardless of what I said before, I think I flipped the other way again, that the chorus might just be when you take something out on someone that doesn't deserve it. So I really struggle with this one, and I haven't done that in a while, I gotta say, because musically it sounds so much like a pop ballad. It sounds like one of those just like classic good songs. Sean used the word sing along earlier, and definitely has some of that. The chorus is so short, and you're like, the first time you hear it, you're like, dude, I remember that part already. Nice. I memorized the chorus, so I can sing it next time it comes back around.
Yeah.
Man, but I gotta say, overall, it isn't, to me, angsty or aggressive. I think musically it is a ballad, and I think because I'm having a hard time figuring out exactly the characters and their motives, I have to stick to Love Song just tonally and just the way it kind of feels, especially at the end.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
I was I'm glad we did this one. I thought it'd be interesting to see what y'all came up with, and myself, because I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But hey, I got to bring in a Star Wars reference right here. This just made me think of something when
Cool.
when you said that was a moment of just like a minor moment where it's just like a quick thing and then you immediately snap back into reality. It reminds me of Luke in The Last Jedi when has that moment when he pulls out the lightsaber against Ben Solo. This is controversial Star Wars film I know. In a moment, and so it made me think of that where he got all the this flack for having that fleeting thought. So I think it's kind of interesting that how people would react to this, because I think in my opinion, I mean, everybody has those moments of daydreaming and wanting something else that it could be something that the life they have could be something they've always dreamed about, having a wife and kids, but there's always something to distract you from that and to think that there's something better. And so, again, the writer in this is definitely struggling with that, because he's trying to attain something that was not what the life he had was not what he expected. And so I think a lot of times, I read something that was like, maybe a kind of cheesy meme or something, but it was like, like think back, look at your life now and think back 10 years ago, and think about the fact that this is what you were dreaming of, this life. Kind of just added, the attitude of gratitude thing. But I think human nature is to want something else a lot. And so what I appreciate about this song is that he was honest about it. And I definitely don't think anything negative of Anand. I think that's the lyrics are very understandable, I think, for most people if they're honest with themselves. And I don't know, like that's a fleeting emotion that he has. He has a song that he wrote about his daughter, and I love that song. So I know, this is not like a straight, picture of his life or anything.
Yeah.
So, but it's just a reflection of thoughts that we have. But anyway, to get to the point, I am going to go with a fight song for the same reason that Cameron said, which was mainly that it's a fight within himself. It's the constant back and forth. The whole song is him, having these thoughts and then going back to reality. I mean, the whole song back and forth, which is, like a tug of war, which is definitely a fight. And I think he's fighting within himself to decide what to do. So, there's elements of love, obviously. But again, we can only pick one. So I think the tug of war type feeling leads me to think it's a fight song.
Yeah, there's so much conflict and tension in the lyrics. And I love something Sean mentioned, I think, before we were recording, but I love when a song is saying something different than how it feels.
Oh, yeah.
There's such a contrast between the sound and the music and like what the lyrics are actually saying.
Yeah, a lot of my favorite music does that. So I don't really listen to really slow, sad music with sad lyrics. If I want to feel reflective, I'll listen to upbeat music with sad lyrics.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I'll get too depressed.
Nice.
I mean, a lot of, not always. Of course, I love a lot of music. But I think this is like if you weren't listening to the lyrics, you're just like, oh, this is a nice little groove. This is very cheerful, upbeat. It's fun. I like it. But having the contrast is always fun to me, and some of my favorite artists do it, and I think it's a lot more interesting to have the dichotomy there instead of you can have an upbeat song musically and just to put standard happy lyrics along with it. It's just kind of it's less interesting. Sometimes it works, of course, but I think it's a lot more interesting when you can just kind of put some contrast in there. But, so I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, and speaking of some of that or all of that, one of our first episodes was "Tell the Truth" by the Avery Brothers, and I picked "Fight Song" for a very similar reason.
Yeah, I actually went back and listened to that one recently.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Because I couldn't remember what y'all said.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a episode with Sean if we didn't talk about the Avery Brothers and have a Star Wars reference in there. So
that's right. Yeah. I almost got away with no Star Wars reference, but then Chris triggered something in my memory.
Nice. Yeah, and if you like Star Wars, listen to Grogu Gaga.
Oh yeah, we do have a podcast for that. Man, there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, listen to Anand's whole album, Anand Wilder, Spotify, wherever you listen to stuff.
Yep.
Debut.
Yeah, seriously, and why not also Yay Slayer? I'm gonna definitely check him out. Yay Slayer. Dang, I got it wrong both times.
Well, I just introduced guys, so I think it's fair.
I've heard it.
He might not want you to listen to him. I don't know.
Thrice now.
I don't know what the relationship is with.
That's
guys.
true. Or if he could.
I won't say it. So if he's listening, if you're listening and you don't want us to listen, then just let us know.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, we're not gonna edit it or take the episode down, but we'll tweet about it.
Yeah.
We'll put a disclaimer. Don't listen to this old band. No.
Listen to Hello Again, Sean Solo, all of that.
Hello Again being my project with my girlfriend, and then Sean Solo,
nice.
obviously.
Yes.
Y'all have anything in the works?
No, just more of this.
Keep on subscribe if you haven't. Give good reviews to the guys.
Dude, yeah.
Apple reviews and Spotify, because that helps.
It
Certainly. Oh yeah. Thanks, Sean. I'm just trying to get a mother flipping scholarship. So.
Oh, very cool. There we go. And as always, we would like to say this, but thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much, and thank you, Sean.
Yes.
Yes. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I had a good time.
Nice. And thank you, Chris.
Of course. Thank you, Cam.
We'll talk to y'all again next week.